All right, Rob, let's you mentioned the NBA and the sales of the Dallas Mavericks and the Charlotte Hornets. But let's talk a little on the court NBA. And last night, let's just say it was a bad night for teams from LA. All right. The Denver Nuggets go down. I'm sorry, the LA Clippers go down to the Denver Nuggets, 113-104. And the Los Angeles Lakers, Rob, in a historic game, they lose 138-94 to the Philadelphia 76ers in Philadelphia. And Rob, that 44-point loss, the worst of LeBron James's entire career, 21 seasons, and last night was the worst. And I'm going to tell you this, as bad as that Lakers loss was, I actually think the Clippers loss was even worse. Clippers only lost by 9. Lakers lost by 44. But here's why I think the Clippers loss was actually worse. The Clippers, Rob, lost to the Denver Nuggets, even though the Nuggets were without their star, their superstar, Nikola Jokic. They were without their star guard, Jamal Murray, who's been out for a little while. And they were without Aaron Gordon. So either their best 3 players or 3 of their top 4, however you want to look at it, were out. And Rob, this is how bad, this is the crew that beat the LA Clippers. DeAndre Jordan started at center and didn't just start. Played 34 minutes and gave them 21, 13, and 5 assists. DeAndre Jordan turned back the clock. Rob G, look up the last time he had 21 points. I bet it's been darn near a decade. And that's the team that beat the Clippers. Now, the Clippers had been looking okay, Rob, when Russell Westbrook went to the bench. But things have stalled. And they've now lost 2 out of their last 3. And James Harden is not looking like himself at all. Harden, Rob, his last 3 games, 8 points, 11 points. So he's averaging 9 points in his last 3 games. He's shooting in the 30% range and just very unproductive. And so I think that loss was even worse than the Lakers. I can get to the Lakers in a little while, but where you at on that?
Nah, I disagree. I think it was the Lakers from a couple standpoints. LeBron James and AD playing, and you get humiliated like that. And you just said it, the worst of his career. Yeah, like 44 points is like those guys weren't playing. That would be a Laker game where they're missing one of those guys and somebody's hobbled. Like that was unbelievable, and I get it. Philly shot the lights out from 3, Chris. But here's the other thing. It has ramifications because you already got LeBron talking about changes. Here we are. We're in November. He's talking about changes have to happen after such a loss like that already, like, if you're one of those players or you're on the team, here we go. You know, like there's a chance that there's going to be some movement or some moves made or whatever. LeBron not happy, and here we go, finger pointing. So I think, like, the Clippers, obviously, when another team has their men down, but you had a couple of former Clippers because Reggie Jackson also did his thing against his former team, and that happens sometimes. Paul George had a terrible shooting night, and you mentioned James Harden.
They had their 4 stars.
No, I
you talked about having LeBron and AD. They had Kawhi, Paul George, and Westbrook.
I get it, but you had two guys who shot poorly. But a 44-point loss is almost unheard of with an AD and a LeBron on the court, and that's why there's no doubt that's the worst loss of LeBron James's career, because normally you're going to lose. LeBron's been blown out. That ain't what I'm saying. 44, 50, almost a 50-point loss is historic. It just doesn't happen when you lose that poorly. Yeah, and now you got to start to look at the roster, and I don't know. Is LeBron
and the Clippers
really,
don't?
Nah, I mean, there's nothing. They just made the move. They're not going to do anything with the Clippers.
They need to.
No,
I
they
mean,
got to figure it out.
the Lakers, I can look at that loss, and you're right. I mean, LeBron said after the game that a lot of things have to change. But to me, and we've talked about this before, Rob, in today's NBA, where darn near half of the shots are three-pointers, if one team catches fire from three, and that's what happened last night, the Sixers were just out of their minds from three-point range. All right, and the other team is cold from three, then you can end up having a blowout like this. The Sixers hit 22 of 46 from three, Rob. That is 48%. The Lakers hit 7 of 28, 25%. And there's your blowout. Now, the Lakers talking about making changes, or, LeBron said they need a lot of help and a lot of changes. I think that that's just a good thing because they need to win the championship. That's what their goal is. They're not there to get to the finals even. They're not there to get to the Western Conference finals. They're trying to win the championship, and they are not a championship team right now. So I actually think if last night woke them up to what they really are, then that could be a good thing. But the Clippers, that is just – and the other thing is the Lakers at least are playing decent basketball overall. I mean, they're 10-8. The Clippers are 7-9 and struggling. We got a long way to go, so we don't even need to talk playoffs. But the Clippers just haven't been playing well, and so I think the loss was worse for them. But bottom line, Rob, is I think both of these teams are older teams. All their stars are older. We know LeBron is playing great, but he's not quite what he used to be. And then Kawhi's not what he used to be, Rob. He's still a star, but he's not as good as he used to be. Obviously, Westbrook and Harden aren't. Paul George, if you want to say he is, okay. But
that's what happens with time and age. People, like even LeBron's numbers. We talk about it. He doesn't impact winning nearly like he used to. He puts up numbers.
No, not.
They don't win like
well, but he don't. Yeah, he can't.
Yeah, they don't automatically win because LeBron has 30 points or stuff like that. That used to be the case. So yeah, I mean, I just think that the Clippers have room for improvement because I
agree with you on that.
I think they have room. But I think they can improve.
Full of improvement.
I think they can improve. Like it's not a pipe dream. They can play better. So it'll be interesting. 44 points. That's outrageous. It's just
I think the story of this season, Rob, one of the stories is going to be, are these young teams for real? Like you can look at the standings right now, and again, it's early, particularly in the West, though, and say, okay, are we seeing a changing of the guard? Minnesota, Rob, is at the top of the conference, 12-4, with Anthony Edwards. And, Karl Anthony Towns isn't old, but he isn't young, but he isn't old. And are they for real? Oklahoma City, second in the conference. Are they for real? Like that, Denver's the best team in the conference. And then you've got the Phoenixes, the Golden States, the Lakers, the Clippers,
Golden State,
Dallas.
Seem like
they're struggling right now. But yeah. I'm just saying these older teams with all this pedigree that none of them are really great, but they got stars that still can play, and so they're all kind of bunched together. So my question is, who's going to be the biggest threat to Denver, Rob? Is it going to be one of these young teams, a Minnesota and OKC, or will it be one of the older teams, a Phoenix, a Lakers, a Clippers? If they, with their experience, will that pay dividends in the playoffs? So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.